welcome back to Classic Car Cave. If you've seen the last video, you saw we went to Pannonia Ring, and the maximum we could get out of this engine was 137 kilometers an hour, which was down the back straight, the start and finish straight, which equates to 85 miles an hour. And after speaking with Paul Jeffries, that was the engine builder and gearbox builder, he was saying the diff is capable of a lot more than that. It probably should be able to do 150 kilometers an hour, just over 100 miles an hour. So the diff is good enough for that. It's a 3.7, I understand, 370 or 370 something. Anyway, so the diff is good enough to get that kind of speed out of it, and that's worked on apparently 13-inch wheels, and there's apparently a whole calculation you do, which I'll try and get him to write down and maybe put it somewhere. Anyway, after talking to him last night, he did the calculation. He said that 6,000 RPM, they should be able to do at least that kind of speed. So there was another guy called, his YouTube site is called Mad Jock Projects, Peter's his name, and he was heavily into go-kart racing, but like the Formula One type go-karts, I mean really high-end stuff, and they both mentioned the same thing, that perhaps what's happening is the throttles are maybe not fully open on this 45 Weber. Maybe they're only 3/4 open, and that's why we're not getting the extra power. So what I've done is I've taken the two covers off, which are there on the side. Now I have to take them off because when I put this T2G filter on, there was an issue with it. There was an issue with the clips, and you couldn't get it on because of the way the box is designed. So I had to put a screw in either side, and to get to them, you maybe just better see it down there. To get to those screws, I've got to take the sides off. It's not a big deal, it's 4 screws. What I now have to do is take the inside off, the inside center panel, which we designed so we can get off the filter. Because it's got trumpets on it, there's no room to push it back and turn it around. If it didn't have the trumpets, I could get it off. And I'll show you inside the car and show you what I mean. It's not a massive job, it's just a bit annoying. So you can see here, you've got this panel up this end here, which is single. This panel here, and there's a join there, and then this big one. And there's a couple of screws in it, and a couple at the bottom. So I'll try and get that panel off now, and then I'll better show you inside. When I press my foot to the floor, we'll see if the butterflies are open fully or not. So I'll get it pulled apart and I'll show you when I see it. Hopefully you'll be able to see the butterflies. So I'm pushing the pedal down now, where you can just see the butterflies opening. And when it's up against the toe board, it's only 2/3 open. I don't know if that will show better on that side. I'm in the light. I'll do it again so you can see it opening, and when I go right to the bottom, it's not fully open. The butterfly is not horizontal. So, and you can see here on where I've got the pedal, it's catching on the bottom with this edge on it. So we either have to change that or move it up a little bit so there's more movement on it. Obviously you can't just adjust the throttle on the carburetor because it'll idle too fast. So obviously when the car was stationary in new rev, you're bouncing the RPM up quite easily, but obviously once it's under load on a track or on the road and it's pulling, it's got a load on it, it's a different story. We can only get it to about 5,200 RPM. So in 4th gear this is, so yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Have to sort that pedal out. Basically it was number 5 where the adjuster came loose when we were at the track at Pannonia Ring, and I think I've realised what the problem is. It's the leverage. So this is a 7/16, and the leverage on that is that amount. And what I've been using, because the only Allen key I had to use this, and obviously you can see the difference in the leverage of that is massive. And I think what's happened is because I didn't have the leverage to hold this open, I've not locked them off, so it actually is down to me. And I was obviously a bit worried about them being aluminium and stripping the thread. So that's where the problem is. I need something with the same leverage at least. I did think initially about putting a pair of mole grips on the end of this because this was the only key I had. So what I'm now going to do is, fine, I've got this 3/4 drive. What I'll do is I'll find the right Allen key so I can do it like this, and I'll have enough purchase then to get this right. And I think that's where the problem's been, is I've just not tightened them down enough for fear of stripping the thread. So the fact that this has happened on this set of rockers and the first ones, it must mean that. Yeah. So what I could possibly do is I could even maybe use some kind of Loctite, maybe not red but a blue or a lighter Loctite, just to give it a bit of extra tightness. But I think it's just because I haven't tightened them down enough. I haven't locked them hard enough. The issue is that the locking nuts on these are quite tight on the thread, and so when it feels like it's tight, it's not actually tight against the arm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can put more tension on them. Obviously you can't use a socket on them because you've got to hold the you've got to be able to hold the adjuster in the right position. So I'm going to have a look now and see how that goes. Got a few minis to come. This is nice. This 1275 GT. This is Victor's car. This is the other. Oh, this is not his 1275. This is his other car. The red one there is Lewis's, and this is Max's. This minivan. This is one he brought to IMM. So they just come over for a quick visit. It's nice though. Nice colour, that blue. It's about 6, 7 or 7 o'clock, so it's getting. But yeah, Max's pride and joy. Nice that baby blue, isn't it? Oh, Speedwell blue. Which side was it? Was it here, wasn't it? Was it on this side we did it?
What? No, the other side.
Was it the other side?
Yeah.
It's still good?
Yeah. Perfect.
All over, man.
Oh yeah. You finished that off yourself though, didn't you?
Yeah.
We just put the patch in, didn't we? So what you want to do? You want to re-put the lip back on these or what?
Yeah, that would be the plan if it's possible.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to cut it out of another.
No, just buy a strengthener. You can just buy a strengthener and put it in. Oh, sorry about that. And off they go. Over the hill and far away.